Introducing the next big thing in wrestling today, WrestleCrate.com, a monthly pro wrestling based subscription service starting as low as $14.99 a month, with items that include Mattel action figures, Funko Pop, pro wrestling tees, and signed memorabilia by the biggest names in the business today. For more information, on Twitter at WrestleCrates and our official website, www.wrestlecrate.com. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is WWE Off The Script. This is episode number 89, and this is part number 2 for your Saturday morning. Thank you guys so much for spending a part of your Saturday morning with me right here on the number one source for WWE right here on YouTube.com. If you guys missed part 1, link will be down below in the description. And if you guys have been missing my WWE 2K16 Showcase Austin 316 walkthrough, that will also be down in the description below, as well as a exclamation point on your screen, whether you're watching on mobile or from a TV or a PC. However you guys are viewing Off The Script, man, there'll be a little drop box, and everything that you might have missed this past week will be right there for you. Easy access, all right? Now, we're going to get right into the news, guys. We're going to change up the format just a little bit. Part 1, we dove in heavy with the news about what's going on with me and the channel and what I got going on. Then we got into news and rumors. We're gonna keep that right on rolling, guys. We're gonna get right into the news on part 2. So I'm gonna start off with something that is very interesting to me, guys. Very, very interesting. And this was actually sent to me by one of you guys. And his name is Beer Batter Fried on Twitter. And I seen this story, and I had to make it the headline story for part 2, guys, because you all know I love beer. You all know how much I enjoy a fine ale. You guys know how much I enjoy the taste of a fucking cold beverage after a hard work day. It's unbelievable, man. There's nothing better to do after a long day. You pop that motherfucker open, you pour it, and it's just so magnificent in your glass. Nice and cold. You sit down on the couch and you relax. I hope most of you are enjoying Off The Script that very same way this weekend. But Steve Austin, you know Steve Austin for fucking chugging beer and kicking ass. This story is unbelievable, guys. Stone Cold Steve Austin is teaming up with the El Segundo Brewing Company for the launch of his very own beer, the Broken Skull IPA beer. Austin will be hosting a launch event for the beverage on Friday, November 13th in El Segundo, California. The beer is described as having a big mid-palate flavor from ample use of Cascade, Chinook, and Citra hops. The finish is wonderful, with hops fading quickly and a polite bitterness that trails off easily. According to El Segundo, the first round will be available only in California, but they are working on getting into additional markets. Swig of beer for the working man. Steve Austin and El Segundo Brewing present Broken Skull IPA. This is from the headquarters of El Segundo. WWE Hall of Famer Steve Austin and El Segundo Brewing Company, one of LA's premier craft breweries, have teamed up to create what Austin describes as one badass beer. Known around the world for his intense in-ring style, trash-talking, and beer-swilling antics, Austin has embraced the craft beer world with a hands-on approach. After meeting with ESBC founder Rob Croxall, it was clear that they had a lot in common. Austin, who knows good beer when he tastes it, was already a fan of ESBC's Citra Pale and Mayberry IPA. Over a table of beer, conversation shifted into a collaborative effort utilizing ESBC's expertise in brewing and Steve's vision of the ultimate India Pale Ale. Austin described in detail the characteristics of what he loved in a great IPA. The resulting recipe, churned out by Rob, created a beer that boasts a big mid-palate flavor with ample use of Cascade and Chinook, and Citra hops. The finish is wonderful with hops fading quickly and a polite bitterness that trails off easily. This is the ultimate IPA designed for the working man and woman who loves great beer. The work is done. Time to enjoy a cold one. El Segundo Brewing, located at 140 Main Street. El Segundo will launch Broken Skull IPA on Lucky Friday, November 13th. Steve Austin will be behind the bar serving up this tasty brew from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tickets are required for this event. If any of you guys are out in the El Segundo, California area, this is an amazing opportunity. If I was there, even though I don't like IPA, even though I don't like a hoppy beer, I would be there, man, because this sounds fucking wonderful. Something I've always wanted to do. A little fact about me, I started brewing beer with one of my friends. I really don't communicate with them much anymore. You know, a lot of my friendships have kind of faded off. They're off doing their own thing, and that's what happens when you get older. You know, you lose friendships, and you know, people kind of distance themselves from one another. But I started brewing beer, and we made a damn good beer. And I want to get back into that aspect again. Maybe make a video on it. I don't know, man. I mean, I want to get set up in a better apartment, and I want a bigger space. My kitchen's not that big right now. Very tiny space for me to do my cooking, and, you know, if I wanted to brew beer, not enough space to do what is required. But I would definitely love to bring that to you guys, man. And you all know me for drinking beer. I love a fine ale. I love going out and experimenting and experiencing new beers. Fuck, one of my favorite bars in New York City, if you guys are ever in town, is Peculiar Pub, okay? 500 bottled beers. They have a menu that's fucking thick as a motherfucker. They got everything categorized by fucking country. It's just amazing, man. And I love beers. You know, my favorite beer, if you guys don't know this, is called the Three Philosophers. I always consider myself the fourth philosopher because I drink it so much. And it's brewed here in New York, in Cooperstown. It's like 4 hours away, and it's by Ommegang Brewery, one of the most well-known breweries on the East Coast, man. It's fucking wonderful. It's got a nice cherry taste. It's almost a dark red cherry, you know, body. And it's just beautiful, man. It's triple fermented. It's unbelievable. About 10 points of alcohol in there, 10% alcohol, and it's just wonderful, man. You can have it with anything, and, you know, the Christmas season's rolling around. We just had the fall season with the fall seasonals and the pumpkin ales, and, you know, the fucking nutmeg and the cinnamon and the pumpkin spices, and then we get into the Christmas, and you still got that nutmeg. You know, you got the Mad Elf from Troeg's Brewing Company in Pennsylvania, one of my favorite holiday beers. It's so rare, it's only brewed 3 months out of the year, bro. 3 months out of the year, if you guys can find it. You know, it's called the Mad Elf. And here I am talking about beer, and I'm on a fucking wrestling video. This is how much I love beer, man. I love it. And this is a great thing for Steve Austin. If I can definitely find it, if it does branch out into different markets and I can find it, I would gladly do a review for you guys. I'll do a live review and show you the body and fucking go over it. You know, a lot of you guys actually want me to do beer reviews. It's something that I've always been pondering, but I'm not sure if, you know, a lot of you guys would be interested in that. I know some of you are too young to even drink alcohol and beer. So I don't know how that might come across, but a lot of you guys have asked me to do that. But Steve Austin and El Segundo Brewing coming together, and we are going to have the Broken Skull IPA, man. It's going to be great. Like I said, if I can get my hands on it, I would definitely drink it and do a review for you guys and show it off. But if you guys are located in El Segundo, California, 140 Main Street, Broken Skull IPA on November 13th. Austin will be behind the bar serving this up between 1 and 8 p.m. Tickets are required. And if you guys have any beer recommendations or want a good beer recommendation, you know you can always come to me, man. And I love when you guys tweet me on Twitter, JD, look at what I'm drinking, a cold beverage. I know some of you guys, you know, you tweet me your cold beverages at night. I'm watching Off the Script, and I got a cold beverage. I know, you know, one of my followers, Hogster on Twitter, he's always tweeting me fucking fine ale. My brother Horse60 always tweeting me fucking shit. You know what he's drinking. You know, he's watching Off the Script on the weekend on his patio on a nice fucking fall day outside on his laptop. You know, I love when you guys send me your fucking cold beverages, man. It gets me inspired, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck, I wish I was watching Off the Script drinking a cold fucking beer, bro. So, I can't wait to do that for you guys. Hopefully I can find some Steve Austin beer, and we'll talk about it if I find anything out on the Broken Skull IPA. All right. Now, the next biggest story, guys. A lot of you guys are talking about Dean Ambrose, and I know I mentioned this on Out of Nowhere with Cronin, and I talked about it briefly yesterday on Off The Script Part 1. If you missed it, link is down below. Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns became the #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Reigns will most likely have his match at Survivor Series against Seth Rollins. Reigns won his first match of Monday's tournament with a win over Kofi Kingston. And before the main event, Dean Ambrose gave Roman Reigns a brotherly pep talk. Reigns won the Fatal 4-Way main event after defeating Alberto Del Rio, Dolph Ziggler, and Kevin Owens. Dean Ambrose said it perfectly. He was close at WrestleMania. He was close at Money in the Bank, and now he's this close once again. But this time there's a lot of speculation that Ambrose will turn on his friend Roman Reigns and cost him the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Dean Ambrose has been one of the most consistent faces since the breakup of the Shield. Ambrose turning would be an unexpected swerve and a moment that could be a career-defining moment for Dean Ambrose. If Ambrose does turn heel against his friend and fuse with him until the Royal Rumble, it's possible that Dean Ambrose may have enough momentum to actually win the Royal Rumble and go on to the main event of WrestleMania 32. Many people want to see Dean Ambrose in a vital role on WWE television, and there are many ways that this scenario can play out. If Ambrose won the WWE Championship, it could lead to a heel turn for Roman Reigns instead. The possibilities are endless, but it's very likely WWE will continue to tease a heel turn for Dean Ambrose on the way to Survivor Series. You know, we as wrestling fans, our moods change quite often, man. We're like fucking females. One day we're fucking smiling and happy. The next minute we're fucking, just stay the fuck away from me. We're on our periods, you know. Don't fucking come near me, man. If you come near me, if you fucking look in my direction, I'm gonna fucking rip your eyeballs out. That's us wrestling fans. Simple. Simple as that. You know, I've been lobbying for Brock Lesnar to win the Royal Rumble. I've been lobbying or predicting Brock Lesnar will win the Royal Rumble and, you know, challenge Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship, because this is something the WWE is going to have to revisit. They are going to have to revisit Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar for the championship. It just makes sense. Lesnar was screwed out of his championship match by The Undertaker, and he got preoccupied with The Undertaker, which he ended at Hell in a Cell. So it only makes sense. But now, you know, Vince McMahon put Lesnar and The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell because he has a grander scheme. He could have easily saved that match for WrestleMania, but he thought differently and might have, you know, something else in mind. He might have booked something else completely different for Lesnar and The Undertaker at WrestleMania. But now, with this tease of Dean Ambrose and the entire feeling behind Dean Ambrose's attitude, especially on Monday Night Raw, man, the first thing I thought of when I seen this was Ambrose is turning heel. Ambrose is turning heel. You know, Roman Reigns won the fucking Fatal 4-Way. He won this mini tournament. He's going on to fight Seth Rollins at Survivor Series. And a lot of people, we talked about it on Out of Nowhere, you know, you guys have been asking me, JD, do you think Roman Reigns is ready? And I've been very critical of Roman Reigns. But he's been growing on me. And I know a lot of you guys are saying the same thing. Is Roman Reigns ready for a WWE Championship right now? No, he is not. And I'll say that to you, looking at you directly in the fucking eyes. Is Roman Reigns ready for a bigger role? Yes. He's not ready for a championship. He's not ready to carry the belt. He's not ready to be the face of the company. He's not ready to take over John Cena's spot. But he's ready to move slowly to that next level. All right? He'll be maybe 1 or 2 steps away from a title reign, from a championship reign. But he's not there yet. He's got a little bit more work to do. Now, Roman Reigns is a funny situation. You know, his promos still need work. He needs to carry himself better. He needs to individualize himself and branch away from what the Shield did. He might need new attire. He might need new theme music. You know, he needs to go back to what we seen when he first debuted with the Shield. He reminded me so much of Kevin Nash when he was Shawn Michaels' bodyguard. A man of few words, wearing the glasses. That was Diesel back in the day. And Roman Reigns, he just stood there, he said one fucking thing, and he looked intimidating as fuck. But Roman Reigns, the one thing I will give Roman Reigns is ready for big-time situations. Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan, Bray Wyatt, all come to mind this year. He was put in big match situations, and he fucking gave you 2 thumbs up. He gave you an A+. Roman Reigns is ready for a big match situation, and I fully trust Roman Reigns for a big match situation. If Roman Reigns is going to be in a big match, I know he's going to deliver. Why? Because he wants it. Because he's hungry. And I see that every single time in Roman Reigns. I just don't think he's ready for a world championship. Now, the WWE has the opportunity to make the Royal Rumble special this year. There's going to be a lot of guys in the Rumble. I just feel it. They have to. I don't think WWE can be this ignorant to years past. The Royal Rumble can be something special. It looks like it should be shaping up to be something special. There needs to be anywhere between 10 and 15 names in the Royal Rumble. And we'll discuss this as we get closer to January. There needs to be 10 to 15 names in that Rumble that could win the fucking match. 10 to 15 names that could go on to WrestleMania and challenge Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. It can't be one of these situations where you go in and 28 guys are fucking losers and there's only 2 obvious winners. You can't have that happen. You need 10 to 15 possible winners in that Royal Rumble to make it unpredictable. Obviously, you got to fill the ring. You got to fill the match with 30 guys. But select guys that are fucking possible fucking winners. That's what they have to do this year. That's number 1. Number 2, WWE, like I said, could make this year special. They could do this entire Ambrose heel turn. He could screw over Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns could be the one chasing Dean Ambrose and getting retaliation, kind of getting away from Seth Rollins right now. And all this between Reigns and Rollins, not Reigns and Rollins, Reigns and Ambrose could go into the Royal Rumble, and we can have dual winners. I mentioned this on part 1. We can have dual winners. Bret Hart and Lex Luger did it in '94. Why not revisit that, man? We haven't seen that in a while. That would be fucking unbelievable. And then from there, we just get into the Shield triple threat match. Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose at WrestleMania 32 for the WWE Championship. That would be fucking money. That would be money. If WWE wants to do that, that's the most ideal situation, and it would definitely create intriguing television on Monday Night Raw. But the rumor mill right now is Dean Ambrose possibly turning heel on Roman Reigns at the Survivor Series. Let me know what you guys think about that. Would you like to see Dean Ambrose heel, or would you rather Roman Reigns be the heel? Let me know. I mean, there's a bunch of possibilities here, so we're gonna have to wait and see, man. It's getting that time of year where WWE's on autopilot. Not a lot of important things are going on, but they'll fucking throw a nice little surprise at you. And once we hit January, it's gonna be fucking off to the races for WWE. That's when they start picking up television. That's when they start giving us quality Monday Night Raws and the Royal Rumble. And then we got fucking Fastlane, which I still hate. And we got WrestleMania. And then we begin the fucking shitty television and the shitty storytelling all over again after Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania. But let me know what you guys think about that. Dean Ambrose turning heel on Roman Reigns. Recently, WWE Chairman Vince McMahon and WWE staff hosted a third quarter earnings conference this week from WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. NXT was a hot topic during the call. This call is routine after WWE released their third quarter earnings report. According to WrestlingNewsSource.com, there were several topics discussed. The call included discussions surrounding the success of the WWE Network. Primary questions about its content and the subscriber numbers were answered. One interesting note is that WWE made direct voice to the idea of expanding WWE Network to have more lucrative and expensive versions for WWE fans. I don't care for that. $9.99 is perfect the way it is. You don't want to alienate any fans at all. One person during the call asked specifically about the growth of NXT and why it's become so successful. Social media has been given an enormous amount of credit for the success of NXT. Barrios mentioned how NXT was able to sell out the Barclays Center. In regards to NXT competing with WWE, Barrios said the possibility of NXT competing with Monday Night Raw or SmackDown never enters he or Vince McMahon's mind at all. Barrios claims that NXT has a different vibe, a different feel, and the audience is different. They're not worried about any competition at NXT at all. NXT is such a new promotion to produce with a strong product. However, it's a long way away from competing on the WWE Main Roster level, but it provides a magnificent developmental system for WWE. I wouldn't say that NXT is direct competition, but what I would say the WWE really needs to do, and it's always great to have competition within, man. It only makes you better. And this is why I wish WWE had competition on Monday night, because it would push the WWE, it would bully the WWE into saying, you know what, we gotta start shaping up here. We gotta start getting better at what we do. We gotta start putting on quality television instead of putting anything out there, because you're gonna watch it anyway. Monday Night Football is no competition for WWE. It blows it out of the water. If there was another wrestling program on adjacent to Monday Night Raw, WWE would put its best foot forward and make sure you stay with them instead of switching to the other competition, the other wrestling competition. But NXT could be used not only as a magnificent developmental system, it could be used as gauging how well your roster is compared to NXT. If I was on the main roster, I'd be like, I don't want these fucking upstart kids outshining me on a fucking pay-per-view. We're going into, what are we going into in December? TLC. And then NXT's got TakeOver London coming up in December. If I was coming up on TLC, I'd be like, fuck these guys, man. I love them. I love what they're doing. It's great for the fucking business. It's great for the company. But I'm not going to let these upstart kids fucking, outshine me on a pay-per-view. I'm going to show them how a pay-per-view's done. Internal competition, man. Friendly competition. That's what makes people better. That's what makes the product better. If WWE used that and took what NXT is doing and somewhat applied little by little what they're doing down at NXT to the main roster, things would be fucking great. It's a great thing to follow. But I don't see WWE doing that at all. I don't think they're competition. It's just a great alternative for you guys who don't like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and the political bullshit and the storytelling on the main roster. We can always watch NXT on Wednesdays, and I did that tonight at work. I caught up on NXT, man. Gable and Jordan are fucking amazing. The match they had with fucking, what's his name, Gargano and Ciampa, you guys gotta go watch that shit, man. Absolutely fantastic fucking match. Jordan and Gable are my favorite tag team in WWE right now, man. Absolute beast fucking team. If you guys missed that match, go out and do yourself a favor. Watch it. It's great. I still gotta finish the show, man. I didn't even get through Samoa Joe and Tyler Breeze yet. I gotta finish watching it. But NXT, man, absolute great product. It's not great every week, but they're never gonna give you a shitty show. They're gonna give you a good show every week. Sometimes you're gonna get a great show every week, but you're not gonna get the shit you're getting on Monday Night Raw. You're gonna get quality shit that makes sense, a great atmosphere, a great crowd. NXT is where it's at right now in the WWE. Also concerning NXT, guys, listen to this story. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE's main roster locker room right now, which I just said, could use NXT as a gauge for how well they do, man. They don't want to be upstaged. But right now, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter and Dave Meltzer, WWE's main roster is said to be divided right now, and morale is not high. There are lower-level talents with $100,000 contracts that were recently given an increase in pay to $125,000. The reason WWE distributed raises were to compensate for WWE Network taking away potential pay-per-view bonuses. However, this increase in pay hasn't had the desired effect for WWE officials because there are more than enough lower card talents still complaining that it's difficult to build a profit given how much WWE talents are required to pay for travel expenses on the road. However, WWE Developmental's morale is said to be the exact opposite. Morale in NXT is said to be extremely high in the locker room right now. I wonder why. NXT is still fresh off NXT TakeOver Respect. That was a game changer for a lot of people. NXT TakeOver London is coming up in a few months, and there are rumors of another TakeOver special the night before the Royal Rumble. NXT is free of house shows this week because NXT was active last week, running 4 shows at the NXT Aftershock Festival. Although there were 700 seats in the venue, the NXT fans filled those seats, and there were plenty of standing room. There were possibly as many as 1,200 people watching those NXT shows, man. NXT is in demand. Triple H knows it. WWE knows it. Whoever's running NXT down there alongside Triple H, they all know it. The morale is high. You guys got to watch Breaking Ground on the WWE Network. I seen episode 1. I didn't want episode 1 to end, man. It's absolutely fantastic. It gives you guys a look inside what goes on in NXT, man, while they're training at the Performance Center. It followed Baron Corbin. It followed a few other guys. Bayley was there. A few of the women that are really not on the main roster right now, you might not know of. It shows their struggles and this and that. You know, the morale is high, man. It shows you how the matches are chosen for the house shows and, you know, the disappointment of when someone is not chosen. You know, it followed Apollo Crews around. WWE, whatever they're doing with NXT, man, is fucking magic. It is absolutely unbelievable. I can see why the morale is high. After TakeOver, man, everyone in the locker room came out and gave Sasha Banks and Bayley a standing ovation, man. They showed their love and their respect for these two women that just gave us a 30-minute Iron Man match for the Women's Championship. You don't see that shit happening on Monday Night Raw. You don't see that shit happening on NXT. Everything is political on Monday Night Raw. Everything is, oh, fuck you, I'm going to take this, and fuck everybody else on Monday Night Raw. We're going to do things my way, and fuck the fans, and fuck everybody else on Monday Night Raw. Why? Because fuck you. That's Vince McMahon's attitude. And that's not the attitude to have, man. You know, there's a bunch of guys on the main roster right now that would love to be performing at an NXT level. They would love to be doing what the guys in NXT are doing, but we never see them. We never see the talent that they have. They're being paid to sit around and do nothing. Adam Rose and Zack Ryder and fucking Heath Slater and this one and that one. I can see why morale is low, man. They're in the fucking industry and the business that they love, and they're not being used. This is why Justin Gabriel left, and he's off doing his own thing now. You know, guys like that. I can see why morale is low on Monday Night Raw and the main roster, and I can see why morale is high in NXT, man. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure this one out. Like I said, if WWE and the main roster just took a little of what they do on NXT and applied it to Monday Night Raw, things would be great, man. Doesn't have that family-like atmosphere on Monday Night Raw. It feels too produced. It doesn't feel natural. WWE trying to shove things down our throat. WWE trying to tell us what to like and who to fucking cheer and who to boo. The storylines are fucking awful. The storytelling is awful. The scripting of the promos is awful. Nothing is organic. Everything is just so produced. I can see why it's not high. The morale is not high, man. And it's fucking at extreme lows right now. None of that shit happens down at NXT. You can see, if you watch Breaking Ground, if you watch fucking NXT, everyone is a close-knit family, man. They have fucking love and respect for each other. I don't see any of that. I can't imagine any of that happening on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, there might be respect there, but, you know, the internal fucking, you know, the internal mechanism of Monday Night Raw, which is Dunn, McMahon, and whoever else is running shit back there, it's damaging, man. You can see it. You can see it with the quality of the television that is being produced every week, man. It's just damaging to the fucking product. So, right now, NXT morale is extremely high. WWE very low for obvious reasons. Like I said, it doesn't take a fucking brain surgeon to figure this one out. Let me know what you guys think about that one. And I don't know, man. Like I said, NXT right now is the fucking place to be. If I was in NXT right now, man, I wouldn't want to leave at all, man. You got a beautiful performance center. You got all the fucking modern things to fucking get you ready for the main roster. You got a close-knit family. You got people that want to fucking teach you and be there for you and fucking show you the right way. On Monday Night Raw, what do you got? You got fucking Kevin Dunn, Dolph Ziggler, and fucking Rusev throwing fish at each other and arguing over fucking girlfriends. You got, you know, it's just fucking, it's a circus. It's an absolute fucking circus. You got a Divas Revolution that's nowhere near a revolution. It's just awful, man. So, NXT is the place to be. If you don't know what NXT is, man, shame on you. It's the hottest thing in the WWE right now. The wrestling, look at this fucking story, man. Like, the WWE has nothing else to do. They have nothing else important to do, man. If they applied this much effort into actually making their shows good, we would all be fucking happy wrestling fans, man. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that WWE security was removing Young Bucks signs at Hell in a Cell on Sunday in Los Angeles. It's not a surprise to hear that there were many Young Buck fans in the crowd since PWG runs in Southern California. The Bucks announced this week that they've signed an exclusive deal with Ring of Honor. Their deal still allows them to work for PWG and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Prior to signing their deal with Ring of Honor, there were talks with several wrestling companies, including Lucha, Underground, TNA, and WWE. They had worked on a few Global Force Wrestling shows as well. Like I said, if WWE applied this much effort into making their shows good, instead of taking fucking Young Buck signs away for whatever fucking reason, Monday Night Raw would be absolutely fucking fantastic. each and every week. What else we got here, guys? One more to end this week's part 2 of Off the Script. News on the Divas Championship, as if anybody fucking cares. This news is expected, so I'm not expecting any of you to be fucking blown away with this news. It's been reported. It's on WWE.com. It's on the fucking dirt sheets. But it's now officially being reported that the plans for the Divas Championship at next month's Survivor Series will be a match between champion Charlotte and the challenger Paige. These plans should not come as a surprise after this week's Monday Night Raw. After losing a 6 Divas tag team match, the Bellas, Team PCB, fell apart right before our eyes as Paige attacked her former teammates Charlotte and Becky Lynch. Now Paige wants the Divas Championship back to put on her mantelpiece in her house. It's curious that WWE's booking Paige's heel turn on Raw after the Hell in a Cell and rushing the feud for Survivor Series in Atlanta rather than a Survivor Series elimination match. Thank fucking Christ. We've seen so many fucking tag team matches. We don't need to see any more WWE. So I'm glad you're doing the one-on-one. No interference, please. I enjoyed the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view with every match clean. No interferences. That's what I want. Becky, I wish Becky had a bigger role on WWE, but who the fuck am I? I can only fucking give you my opinion on it. I think Becky Lynch should go back down to NXT, to be quite honest with you. Charlotte Paige one-on-one for the title. I would much rather see that than a Survivor Series elimination match. We don't need to see that. I'd rather see the title on the line. So now it's even more curious to see where Team Bella and Team Bad will be on the Survivor Series card. Hopefully off of it, except for Sasha Banks. I don't want to see any of them on the card, period. If you can leave Sasha Banks off television for fucking 3 straight weeks, you can leave the Bella team off the Survivor Series. Fuck them. Not needed. Hopefully, both of those teams, minus Sasha Banks, will be on the Survivor Series card. Leaving Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Nikki Bella off one of the WWE's biggest pay-per-views of the year, which is false. It's not one of the biggest pay-per-views. It's actually, WWE has embarrassed the Survivor Series in prior years, so I wouldn't even consider it one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. WWE has a lot of work to do to make Survivor Series relevant again. However, putting all 3 of these women or more into a number 1 contenders match at Survivor Series would add the next dimension to Charlotte versus Paige. If the feud is only for one event, it's too early to tell who will walk out of the Survivor Series Divas Champion, or if Charlotte versus Paige has legs to go for a few months. I doubt it. I don't think anybody booking the Divas has a fucking brain, or at least a half a fucking brain, to make Paige and Charlotte work for a couple of months. But we will be getting Charlotte versus Paige at Survivor Series. Hopefully there's no interference. Hopefully it's one-on-one. Hopefully WWE has a decent fucking story for these women to tell. Hopefully it continues for a month or 2 before we move on to Sasha Banks getting what she deserves. I ranted in part 1. If you missed it, link is down below. So Charlotte and Paige, Survivor Series Divas Championship. Look forward to that at the Survivor Series next month in 2015. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with me. As always, please show some love to the sponsors of the show, man. WrestleCrate.com. They now ship in the United Kingdom. So if you guys want to go check that out, you can always go to their Twitter. I will link it right down below as well for their UK page. They now are in affiliation with United Kingdom. So if you guys want WrestleCrate, you can still use the code JDSentMe for an instant 10% off. ProWrestlingTees.com/WWE Off The Script. We got a huge Black Friday sale. I will let you guys know when that is happening. Soon you'll be able to get 20% off my t-shirts as well as everything else on the website. So if you guys want to promote the show, support the show, Pro Wrestling Tees is a great way to do that. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/WWE Off The Script. Or if you just want to donate to the show, you can always donate to my PayPal link down below as well. And that's pretty much it, guys. If you're not following me on Twitter, @JD from NY206. If you're not getting your WWE 2K16 videos in your sub boxes, make sure to go check that out. I got a bunch of more WWE 2K16 stuff coming. I got career mode, I got universe mode, I got live streams coming. You name it, I'm going to be doing it, guys. I got a lot of plans for it, so hopefully you're there with me to enjoy the ride. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, man, please do so. This is the #1 fucking source for literally everything WWE right here on YouTube.com. This is Off The Script. I'll be back on part 3 Sunday morning, guys. Until then, this is JD. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on Sunday morning.